Hey folks, we are back again with a Gutsy Woman Profile, Dr. Brenda, and I am here with Michelle Vigil, who calls herself a wild Wyoming woman and a warrior woman. So welcome, Michelle, to the Gutsy Woman Club, and I'm very excited to have you here with us today. So let's just jump off and tell us why, how you describe yourself as the wild Wyoming woman and the warrior woman.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Dr. Brenda. I'm Michelle Vigil, and I call myself a warrior woman just because I grew up in a family of four boys, and so I had to be tough to be around all those boys. Plus, I had a gigantic family. My grandmother had 19 kids. My father was one of 19, and so I had 59 first cousins, and I don't know how many second and third cousins. I mean, it's unbelievable the people that I'm related to. So just in my area, but they're all over. And so just in life, I've had a great life here in Wyoming. I was raised in Wyoming, but I've traveled the world. I've traveled all 50 states. So I'm not just from, I mean, I am from Wyoming, but I've traveled all over, and I love people from different cultures. I love different food. I just love being around and learning from people all over the world. And so, but Wyoming, why I call myself a warrior is because it is cold here. It's starting to get cold right now. And this is a rugged place. If you've ever been to Wyoming, most people think about Jackson Hole, but I'm on the eastern side. I'm by Devil's Tower in between the Black Hills and Bighorns. And so it is a fantastic place. It's an awesome, beautiful place. This weekend, I drove through the Bighorn Mountains. Like, I'll drive by myself, and in Wyoming, there is no, I mean, it is just land. It is just physical land. A lot of times in between towns, we don't call them cities here. We have cities, a couple of them, but it's just long stretches of, like this weekend, like I said, over the mountain. And so I get to see big, huge, gigantic, large animals like moose. You get to see deer. You get to see all kinds of things that, and the land is really rugged. So if you get broke down or something, you're going to have to learn how to survive and get out there, and you have to know how to make a shelter. You have to know how to make fire, because you don't always get cell phone service. And so we're kind of rugged and wild, and people are a little bit survivalistic out here in their attitude, and because of the geographical situation, and because we don't have services like people do in highly populated areas, which I love going to highly populated areas, but it kind of does something out here when you're out here by yourself, if you have to survive on some levels. So that's why I call myself a warrior. Just about where I live, and then career wise, working in Wyoming, this is a heavy laden men population, and so I've had with all kinds of good old boy stuff my whole entire career, which has been fine. I've thrived here. I've been fine here. So it hasn't been that, but I've learned how to deal with um, that attitude. And so I've redneck, white sock, and blue ribbon beer that I don't. I mean, I have the university attitude. I wear masks. I mean, I do things that are best practices and data driven, because that's just how I am, even though I'm here in this awesome wild place. And so, career wise, I think for myself, the reason why I say wild warrior woman is because every place I've gone, I've had to, not really had to, but my personality, I would be in workplaces and lead and help other women. A lot of times I found that my niche in the world, I taught for 20 years at Campbell County, and I taught at the junior high. I also taught at the high school. Now I'm at the college, so I'm doing adults. Pedagogy is totally different than pouring into kids. So anyway, but dealing in this particular, I'm glad I've been in academics, because it's allowed me to not only, education saved my life on so many levels, just because I'm learning to critical think. Not that I didn't in my family, because I came from a great family. My uh, uh, parents business owners. They owned a trucking company, and so in the oil field, and so they were oil field too. And talk about rough, but they were great people. They're awesome people, but they're just a little rough around the edges and a little wild. So, like I said, the four boys, and dealing with the a lot of the men in the workforce too. They've been they could be helpful or hurtful, and I've just learned how to navigate around all that type of attitude, even though I don't like it. And so it seems like I've always taken other women under my wing, and the older I get, that's all I do is give unsolicited advice to other women on how to live, not in, how to maximize their time, energy, and money, and how to be on team. Like I'm on Team Michelle. That's my first team. After I'm happy to help. Sorry, Brenda. Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, let's slow it down.
I'll stop.
You're like, wow, I've got so much information here. I'm going to back up way to the beginning. You talked about travel. Did you
Yeah,
travel as part of your career? Did you travel on your own? I mean, you seem
both.
okay. So how did
Both.
okay? What was the travel about?
When I traveled a lot, when I traveled for professional, I would go to conferences. They would always pick me to go to conferences. So Campbell County and the place that I lived had lots of resources and money, and they were able to send people all over the nation, all over the world, to do conferences, to look at everything from academies to best what people were doing for best practices in the year. So I would do that, and then in addition, I my family traveled. I love to travel, so I would go because I had such a flexible summer schedule. I'd travel all over during the summer, during my breaks, during our breaks. We
Do
would
you
go
have
all over.
do you have like a favorite memory or favorite place?
I have lots of favorite places, but my very favorite place is when I went to Hawaii. I went over to Oahu by myself for 3 months.
Wow.
I got into the dorms. I took a yoga class for the very first time. My friend turned me on to this. He used to do this. Go over. He'd say, "Go take a class. You can stay in the dorms as a student, and you can take a class and just enjoy yourself." So that's what I did. And I didn't want to take math, or I'd already had a math. It's like, I'm done with all that. I want to just have fun. So I went and I did a yoga class. It was, it was so fabulous. I found myself there again, as far as not only physically, because my sister-in-law had just died and I was just kind of reeling. So I physically found myself, and then found myself like I rode the bus, because they had a little, this was 5 or 6 years ago, they had an app called DA Bus, and in Honolulu there's a million people. Where I was staying off on the Manoa University, it was on it was it's a perimeter of Honolulu, so it wasn't as busy, and it was beautiful. It was just like paradise. And I was all by myself, and I had to navigate as a kind of a broke college student, even though I was a um, career professional that had deep that had money. I didn't rent a car. It was just the best time. I had a gecko as a roommate. Wasn't so fond of him running across he had the gecko highway across my bed, and I just had to get over that he was gonna not fall down on me. He never did.
Well, yeah, now you've let the secret out. Now everybody's going to be wanting to be a student in Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
But
go
that,
for it.
let's talk a little bit more about that because a lot of women are pretty uncomfortable traveling alone. I think, part of it is people scare us about safety and, oh, you're a woman alone. People are going to somehow take advantage of you. But the other part of it is just, I think that many women, we do things for everybody else. Everybody else jumps to the top of our priority list. And for you to be able to spend 3 months and just be with yourself. And the other piece of it, because I know that you had commented in here about, finally being comfortable in your own skin. And it's like,
Definitely.
I don't know if part of it is age or what it is, but it seems like going out and doing that 3 month piece of being on your own, being independent, and learning to really love yourself was critical. I mean, how would you what would you advise, other women who are like, yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, Michelle did that, but I can't do that. I don't have the money. My family needs me, blah 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 blah. Or, they could do it in some capacity, but you tell us a little bit about how
Well, I didn't
women.
I didn't get there overnight because this
Mhm.
was after a 25-year career that I had. My daughter, our daughter was gone. I It was just my husband and I. Now I'm divorced since then, yeah, long story, but what I did all along was no matter what age I was, I remember when I first started out, I'd say, "I need a break," and blah, blah, blah. Women are service oriented. It's okay to serve, it's okay to love people and to serve them, but it's important to be on your own team first, and to take care of your needs so that you can take care of them when you put your oxygen mask on. I mean, when the kids are little, you sacrifice a lot more time. It's not like me. I'm an empty nester. It's a lot different. Everybody has to honor their life stage. I would say to honor your life stage, take care of yourself wherever you're at on that spectrum. If you have the resources, you can do that. If you don't, you know what you need. Go take a hot bath, go on the internet and learn something new on the Smithsonian. The sky's the limit. Do little things for yourself all along the way when your kids are little. When they start to grow up, model that behavior for yourself. Take good care of yourself. Learn for myself, because I say I look at myself as a frontline soldier, and not everybody's like that. And I'm brave. I do things afraid. Not everybody's like that. So what I say to other women is go outside of your comfort zone for yourself within your own environment for now. Maybe take a different route to work, or different route, or do some things that kind of take you outside of yourself, so that when your kids start to grow up and they leave, then you can travel or do some things, go with other women, go with other people. I a lot of times would go with other people and watch what they did. If I knew they knew how to travel, I would go with them. I would watch how they packed. I would watch what they did. I would watch their habits. And then I would emulate some of that stuff for myself. All of this stuff I had to learn and be taught. These things take a lifetime to feel okay. As a young, beautiful woman, I never thought I was beautiful until now I'm like, wow, I didn't realize my hair, teeth, and nails. But anyway, long story short, love who you are in the stage that you're at. Take little risks where you're at. Do the things you know you love, because everybody knows what they really like. And if you don't do those things along the way, you're not going to do them when you're older, because you're going to be too scared and too bound up with all of these other things. And it's important to take care of others, yourself first, but others. I'm service oriented. I've served my entire life. So please do not think I've been flittering off doing this and that. I was married for 26 years. I mean, I've been committed, totally committed to jobs, to men, to my dot, to my entire huge family. But I've learned how to fly off on my own like an eagle and be okay. And I've been the happiest being able to know what but it's taken me a lifetime to
Yeah,
get there. And
yeah,
you change what you need, and what you think you need along the way. I mean, now I take a carry-on and a backpack. I don't check in luggage anymore. But I used to needed all this stuff. But
right. Yeah, it does seem like, the older you get, sometimes you realize that you just don't need a lot of the trappings. I mean, one of the things that we talk about in the Gutsy Women Club is that there are women out there who just don't have the support network, or, it's their spouses, their family members are saying, well, what do you want to go back to school for? What do you want to do this for? This, this is a dumb idea. Did you always have the support of the people around you, or did you have to just say, look, this is right for me, and if it ruins a friendship, if it, causes some cleavage, I just have to go with this?
It's ebb and flow in life. Throughout my life, I've had people love me. So I'm never going to say that. I've had a good family. They haven't been there daily, but I've had good family and friends. I've had Team Michelle all along the way. Not to say there hasn't been conflict and craziness and all kinds of things, but I've always had the basic foundation of love. And so I encourage women who don't have that to reach out to other people. There's people all around you. There really are, who need support and who are in your same age group. Like if you're a young mother with kids, there's other young mothers with kids out there, especially now with Zoom and other things. There's other ways to get connected with people so that you feel like you're okay, because that's part of this journey, is having good support, because I couldn't have done it alone. I had to see, like I said, I had to look at other people and they had to tell me, hey, Michelle, I remember when I was a young parent, somebody said to me, my daughter was a year old and she's still eating with her hands. Somebody said to me, oh, my aunt did. She said, Michelle, have you thought about giving her utensils? Well, no, you don't know what you don't know. So, no, I hadn't. Thank you for being there and helping me. So, I just encourage other women, if you don't have a good support system now, look around. If the people on your team around you, your husband, your friends, whatever, you need a new team if they're not pulling for you. I hate to say that too, but really, if people don't want you to be okay, there's something wrong with them, in
Yeah,
my opinion. If
yeah,
they don't want you to grow and learn and love and be all right, if you want to go take a class and that'll make your world be okay, then they better watch the kids, or whatever it needs to be. You need to decide that and hold on to what your love is. I don't even know what to tell you for that, but hold on to you.
well,
I call it Team Michelle.
I really like that whole concept of having your team and the team you select. You're not stuck with the team; you're selecting the team. You talk a
Exactly.
you wrote a bit about what I would say is resilience. So you've had health issues and a divorce and things of that nature that I'm sure probably set you back in many ways. I mean, what sorts of things have you done to sort of overcome some of those um, difficulties? Especially, I think there are a lot of women who are dealing with chronic health issues, maybe pain issues, and it's been, sometimes it's very difficult to dream and to think about life beyond that.
Well, you just have to take it day by day. And actually, it wasn't really my health issue, a couple health issues, because I've gone through shoulder surgeries, but my husband had prostate cancer and he still does. Had five, long story. We've had all kinds of things, but um, if my own health was in jeopardy, and it has been, I would take it day by day. I would once again go back to what I need. What do I need food wise? What do I need rest wise? I go back to the real basics. What do I need? I don't like a bunch of noise, so I have to turn stuff off. Sometimes I have to go outside to feel the sunshine and kind of look around. I just kind of go back to basics, just the very, very um, basics of myself, and get grounded about a good meal, sleeping, taking real good physical care of myself. Like if I've had any type of physical issues, or if somebody's died, like I've had people in the last year die, that just throws you in a huge loop. If I keep my routine, keep my good eating, my good sleeping, my yoga, I walk, I have a dog, a cute little fuzzy dog. I touch that dog. If it wasn't for my dog, I swear that little Shelties kept me going. So all the little things that I know that I like in my world, I have here. I cling on to the stuff that I need, and that I know that I can help me feel better. And if I know somebody's a jerk or I just avoid those. If I can totally avoid that stuff, please, ladies, make sure that you have people who really love you, and you know it. We're like dogs and kids. Kids and dogs know good eggs from bad eggs. So you know as well, honor yourself and do yourself a favor and just cut loose of it. It's easier. Don't waste your time, energy, and money in the name of love. I would rather have no love than that type of love. That is not love.
Yeah.
People who love you want you well and whole. And when you tell them stuff, they listen, especially when you're crying out with your pain. People who love you see your pain and try to help you. They don't try to make it worse.
Yeah, it's interesting because as I travel around, I mean, I've had people say, "Well, don't you get lonely?" And it's like, "Well, I'm alone, and sometimes I'm lonely." But I said, the worst thing I could imagine if I was in a relationship and I felt lonely. It's that's a whole nother matter. So it's
And financing it and dealing with them cheap emotional stuff. I can tell you right now, some of those things that you let go in the world that you think are love, they are not, ladies. It harms you. And I held on to many things in the name of love, and it really is not love. It's obligation, it is guilt, it is out of I owe somebody something because of my servanthood, because I do serve and I love people and want them to be okay. I would give more of myself when I was younger, way out, and now I'm just pulling back like, okay, when I see a lot of pain, I try to, if I can help, I do, but I try to pull back because otherwise it's like, okay, I can't do anything about that. So I have to take care of myself. You just learn yourself. It's beautiful getting seasoned because you learn all about, yourself. And if you're smart, you'll honor it and you'll just walk it out. People are riding my behind when we're driving. I am high strung. You can probably tell. Really? No, just kidding. Anyway, if people are riding my behind when we're driving, I will just pull. If it's safe, I will pull over to the right so they can get around me. Because otherwise, I will be just me, causing myself. I will steal all of my joy, and I did myself. So you learn what works, what doesn't, and if you honor that way, that's what I call warrior women, gutsy women, to honor who you are in a good way, not just for you, but the community way as well, and honor yourself and live a great life. And other people, who cares what they say?
yeah, yeah. So we talk about at Gutsy Women Club. We talk about it's like a 4-piece roadmap, very basic: dream, plan, save, and do. And it seems to me a lot of things that we get hung up on certain things, but very often it's our mindset. So I know that you've michelleknowsmoney.com, and so
Yes.
you're big into the finances, and I think partly the mindset impacts our dreams, our belief in the dreams, but it also impacts like our ability to save because we're probably in a similar generation, and I was taught nothing about finances, and that's generally, I don't see a lot of people being taught the basics of finances. And so, talk a little bit more about Michelle Knows Money, and what your perspective is on finances and how you got into building this website.
Well, it's taken me a lifetime basically to get to this place for myself with Michelle Knows Money. I've been in the helping profession a long time, helping people with basically resource management the entire time I taught business. And so I've always had a business mindset. First, I was in law enforcement, so it was criminal thinking, criminal psychology. I'm fascinated with psychology. So psychology can be applied to any type of, whether it be money, it can be applied to criminal thinking, it can be applied to any type of topic that you want. And money is a resource. And so, money for myself, how I got into this, my family's business owners, and so they're always dealing with high dollars, and I am all in the social service dealing as a teacher, and they're saying, oh, blah blah blah, and they know how to leverage money in a way that I didn't, that I thought I didn't, but yet I have probably my net worth is similar to my brother's. So it's a funny thing, even though, but I had a husband who had a six-figure job, and we saved 12% of our income. So from the very beginning, we always invested. I made sure that we always invested because I knew that that's what you did. I knew just enough to be dangerous in the beginning with money stuff. Still, I mean, I'm always learning, but I know money is money's a resource, and it can let you can have a good quality of life, you can help other people have a good quality of life, and you can feel safe and secure, and not have to rely on other people. For me, it's about freedom. For me, it's about leveraging what we have, where you're at. I'm not trying to make everybody a millionaire. I want you to be control of your time, energy, and money, be able to leverage it for what you want, your own values, your own goals. And so that's my philosophy behind Michelle Knows Money. I do speaking and writing, and I'm also a financial coach. So please visit my website. I'm more than happy to help you. This is what I do. This is my heart for people, and I really do care. I'm not selling anything, but trying to help people be okay and have some hope for their selves and their future, because not having money and financial resources is terrifying. I
Yes.
remember being a single parent and wondering where things were coming from, and there's nothing worse than relying on other people, men, women, your parents, whoever, groveling for money. There's nothing worse. To me, having money and having resources for myself, I just bought a townhouse. Helps me. That helps me have some security and some power, and not to be not to feel scared. And so that's what I want for other people, is the fear factor to go down.
So it's yeah. So folks, I'm going to have the website to Michelle Knows Money. I'll have that link in the profile section. Um, it's interesting because we are living at, you know, a time of coronavirus and
Yes.
unemployment, and people who felt like totally secure in their job in February, in March suddenly didn't have a job. And so, in a way, I mean, because I'm a financial coach too, and I've reached a point also where I have enough financial freedom to have choices. But for folks who have been living paycheck to paycheck, um, I there's got to be an enormous amount of disillusionment of, I'm never gonna, I can't pay next month's rent. I mean, I'm just trying to survive. I mean, do you see a lot of sort of pushback? Like, I mean, this might be a great time to be a financial coach. It might be a bad time. I mean, because in many ways, we're helping people overcome the worst of the worst.
Exactly. And people are terrified. They, like you said before, Dr. Brenda, they were scared before. Not everybody was scared before, but people were what they call financially fragile. You know, they couldn't come up with $400 within. They couldn't come up with it within 24 hours. They couldn't come up with $2,000. People just couldn't come up with stuff. Most of what's going on, I think. I would be totally disillusioned at the institutions and the system and all the things that we've been. You're taught this, you do this, and this is the result. That is not the way it really works. There is so many different dynamics, and people are just terrified. um, uh, it is like you said, a double-edged sword, a good time or potentially a negative time, because we're not just helping people, we're helping people, I feel like, with amputated. They're not just have a cut, they have big, huge, they're worried about their lives, and they're being out in the street or feeding their families. And so that requires a whole community support with social services, with us, with I mean, I find people aren't reaching out as much, because they're ashamed. People are ashamed, and it's no, in order to get past these mindsets, talking about these things individually, or you can look at it has to we have to change our philosophy about how people are so shame-based about their money, and it's not their fault. Some of it isn't. Some of it is very institutional systemic problems with how everything from discrimination to all kinds of things. However, we've got to help people where they're at. And so it's like, how do we stabilize them, give them a little hope? We have to reach out to social services and try to, I don't know, because individually trying to help people, I feel like I am ill-equipped. I am not able to give them hope, and that's in my opinion, that's part of my that sounds like a big, heavy, 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 heavy burden, but I want people to feel like they're better off coming to see me than they were not, and
Right.
giving them some hope about their resources and kind of getting some ideas so that they can get their resources a little bit more focused and um, a little bit more leverage for them and where they're at, because everybody's in a different spot. And so to give blanket advice and to say, "Oh, do this and this will happen," that's horse pucky. You got to have good habits and systems, but you've got to know what best practices are to do that. So all of these things, it's so much. It's I just think for myself, I am gonna meet people where they're at, do the best that I can. I think it's the best time in the world to be a financial coach, because I really care about people, and I can't solve all their problems, but I would like to give them resources, give them some social service agent, connect them with things that could actually be tangibly helpful.
Right. I mean, I think we also live in such an era where politically, socially, culturally, we have created all of these divisions. I mean, I walked through a really depressed old mining community in, southwestern Virginia a couple days ago, and I was thinking, if for people who grew up here, I don't know what their dreams are. And it's difficult when you are surrounded with extremely high levels of poverty, very low value on education, to even think about dreaming in some cases. So, I mean, I've got the Gutsy Women Club, and one of the things that is front is dare to dream. You've got to allow yourself to dream and not say, well, I don't have the money and I can't do this and I can't do this. Those things will happen if the dream is big enough. So I want to ask you about your dreams. I mean, what's up down the pike? What would you
Oh,
like?
wow.
Yeah,
That was
let's talk about
that
your
was
dreams.
that was quite a twist there, Dr. Brenda. I was thinking about people's dreams and how I could help them. Oh, my dreams. I have huge dreams. I want to be a international speaker and writer, and I want to help people all over the world, and I'm going to be doing modules too, so it's not just a one-on-one thing. I want to help people all over the world with with my heart about helping people, and not just some flimsy. I have some real substance stuff and some real experience. I have been through HE double toothpicks and back and May, so I'm okay. But you know what? I've had a mindset that I'm going to be okay, and I've been on my team the whole time, and I've got up and showed up. So for myself and my dreams, I just want to continue to have excellent health, help people along the way, continue to work at UW until my website, until I just continue to build my community, and then I'm going to just be flying off on, just like you. I'll be in the RV or do whatever I can. I'll be parked off and I have buffalo here. You guys can see that. That's
That is great. Yeah, it,
I'll have that little buffalo. I'll have some type of wild woman thing on my background. So while I'm
That that
traveling in my
is
RV.
that is super. I mean, one of the common themes that I find as I talk to more gutsy women is there's this natural sense of curiosity, and there's also, like, hey, I'm just gonna. I mean, there's excitement. I can see excitement in your voice and in what you do, and when you think about, being on that international stage, and you'll make it happen. And so that is absolutely cool. Was there, as you sort of, I'm going to say, blossomed, for lack of a better word, but was there like any major influence, a book or something that sort of, you still say that you would, like, hey, or somebody you met, or some big influence that really helped you become the person you are?
Oh man, I read like a crazy woman. There's thousands of books that I've read over the years. I love The Millionaire Mind. And you know why? One of my favorite books. And Thomas Stanley, I met his daughter. Um, she is fabulous. She runs Data Points. She is Sarah. She's really cool. And she told me he passed away. That made me so sad. But reading about real millionaires, and it's not about the money, ladies. For me, it's about security and freedom. And me calling my own dang shots is what money's about for myself. It's not about well, it is kind of about the cash. I kind of like that, but it's more about me calling my own shots. But reading that gave me hope because he did longitudinal study for 20 years on millionaires. And that millionaire, I could see myself. He said many teachers are millionaires. And at that point, for some reason, I was always reading and learning and growing. And I had so many great people. My grandmothers, both my grandmothers, I can think about mentors at work, ladies taking me under wing, Mrs. Newberry taking me under wing, showing me everything she knew, teaching me how to be excellent, how to be the top. She was always winning um, DECA DECA awards, Mrs. Newberry, but all these different ladies, these guys too. I had all kinds of different people. The Millionaire Mind stood out. I mean, I love Bible too. The Millionaire Mind, going back to that, here I go really quick. um, because it did show that people like me could be a millionaire with habit through having a career they loved, through living in a house that was below their means, driving Hondas. A lot of millionaires drive Hondas. They shop. They say these different Hondas and Toyotas. They really do for many years because they last. And they'll have other vehicles. But anyway, it was just a really cool, it kind of opened my mind that because you see all this stuff on television, all this bling, crazy stuff that's really not real. I'm not going to be a pop star, rock star out there twerking around. That's not me. I'm an everyday worker bee in Wyoming. So how can I go on? So that I guess the Millionaire Mind helped me to see that I could be there. And that just I don't know. I've always liked stuff, but helping women with money stuff, helping people, scared people like little families who are having struggles with going to the grocery store. If people can whip the grocery store, I say, if they can get really good at shopping at the grocery store and figuring out everything on the layout to strategies. Grocery stores spend millions of dollars marketing all their stuff. Figure out how to grow the grocery store and have extra money, then you can, then all of this stuff. But it's not just one thing. Grocery store is just one aspect. But anyway, okay, back to the question.
Yeah, it's. I have to laugh because at one point, in my garage was a Honda lawnmower, a Honda motorcycle, and a Honda car. So I've been Honda my whole life, and anyway, I just had to chuckle at that. So we're gonna wrap it up, and I'd like for you to just give some advice to the gutsy women wannabes out there, the ones who are like, I think I know what I want to do, but I'm just afraid. I don't know that I have the courage. I don't know I have enough. So how do they get past that?
You do it. You put on your imposter syndrome. Like I put on my Wonder Woman outfit, my warrior Wonder Woman outfit, and it's all over. Then look out. I mean, not who, just do it afraid. do just keep doing little things every day that are outside of your comfort zone. Little things. Don't do the huge things. Do little things, and once you gain confidence on it, it goes. And honor yourself. That's a big thing. Always honor what you know you need, and keep walking it out. Do it afraid, and that's all I can tell you. Just do it afraid, and don't make excuses for yourself, because you don't get any younger. And I'm so happy I've done all the things that I did, and I did some of them afraid. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So, and I'm still alive and still healthy and still well and still excited about life too. And people help me all along the way. You can do this. You can do this.
That is terrific advice. So, Michelle, around, I am going to close this out and close our recording, and hope to chat with you a little bit later. So, thank you, Michelle. And
Thank you.
get your name, Michelle Vigil. Again, it
Yes.
is michelleknowsmoney.com. And until next time, ladies, I hope you go out there and take some gutsy actions today. That's it for today. Bye bye.